Hello and welcome to We Got a podcast normally about Dragon Ball. From Randy to Doug to me, Ken, we're going to cover it all. We're celebrating 109 episodes 109. Of We Got a Podcast.
Wow.
What a journey. I've only been on significantly less than 109.
It feels like all 109, honestly.
We have done a lot of Ava episode and Tenchi. There's Tenchi videos to go check out.
We love Tenchi.
So we're really like somewhere in like 125-ish or so.
Yeah.
Which could be the exact number. It just feels right.
Feels better than 109, but that's how it works out.
You know, we missed episode 100 because we were busy watching Dragon Ball Daima, and looking back on it, maybe we should have just taken a break from the show and done this celebration. But now we're here in person, and it's fantastic having you guys here.
In person.
Yeah,
we're here together.
Yeah.
This is the first time any of us are ever meeting, and it feels like we've been together for our whole lives. This is crazy.
It's amazing how not weird it feels.
That's the thing, too, right? The weirdest thing, I'm looking at ourselves in the camera we have over here, of like the three of us in a room. This feels really weird. Like seeing that feels like a fever dream.
Yeah.
I was just in Ken's collection room, and that felt like I'm backstage, and like this is where they recorded Back to the Future. This is amazing. This is where all the figures are at. It's crazy. He has it displayed more beautifully than cameras can do justice. It's incredible.
Yeah, so he says the collection room, but he just means the office that you see me in every podcast episode.
Because you've also got like a retro gaming setup in there, so it fulfills multiple purposes. You know, it's the studio, it's the gaming room, but for Doug, all he sees is
the figures,
the collection.
It's displayed well. I'm a sucker for well displayed stuff, and
this is going to be a bit of a self-serving episode of the podcast where we get a chance to just talk about the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, it's all going to be tangentially related to Dragon Ball. This is still a Dragon Ball podcast, but so I've got an outline here. These two guys have not seen any of it. There's going to be some twists, some turns, some surprises today. It's going to be a fun one. If you are listening on Spotify, there is a video version of this podcast that's been put up.
There is?
I suggest switching to the video version.
Yeah, for this one, you might need to.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. This is going to be a great episode. So I wanted to start
Randy, put your pants back on.
I'm sorry.
See, you missed it if you weren't watching the video.
Tune in to YouTube to see the pantsless version.
I wanted to talk about, life before we got a podcast. So before the decision was made to start this podcast, what kind of creative projects were you guys working on?
Oh, I guess I'll start. That's easy. AMVs was my thing. Was my main and only thing. My creative outlet was that, and I never really officially retired from that, but I just haven't really, nothing has struck me since then. But I guess my creative juices have been let out through this podcast. So that's the best part about it.
Yeah, that and all the shorts and things that you do.
That's kind of been the mixture of things that I currently do. So I don't see it as my past. I see it as my past, present, and future, Randy. Please.
All right. My bad. Sure. For me, I mean, I have done other podcasts and things before. I think the first thing that I did was it was like a 9-episode thing called Oh Those Silly Otaku, where I just got a different guest on every episode to talk about a different show. So we did like Outlaw Star, Full Metal Alchemist, Yu Yu Hakusho. Trying to remember some other ones, but we had cool people on there. We had Heath was on there. I can't remember which one he did. I had Desiree on to do.
Yeah.
I think. Oh gosh, was he Outlaw Star or was he Full Metal? I can't remember. Either way, did that, and then I did like a 1-episode Avatar: The Last Airbender podcast.
1 episode.
It was like me and my then boyfriend and my cousin, and then scheduling just gets hard to do.
Right,
so
right.
We only ended up
you've been wanting to talk for years.
I love to talk, and I love making people listen to me.
That's the thing. I don't know how Randy K convinced me, of all people, to join him at Scopes in a talking segment where I hate talking. But I love Randy so much that I was just like, I'll chat with you over some Dragon Ball stuff. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, I had just gotten the idea to do a podcast just because I had started reading a book about podcasting. Like, I used to do that. That was a lot of fun. What do I want to do it on? I mean, Dragon Ball is a very easy one to go to. And I'm like, who do I get to do it?
Randy's being licked to death by my dog. So, Ellie, can you stop?
Professional
Ellie, leave
this.
it. Leave it?
Yeah. Ellie, leave it. Stop licking me now. Oh my gosh. Get out of here.
Got dogs running wild over here.
Yeah.
And we've got our production assistant out of sight of frame shaking treats at her.
Thank you.
Well, you guys are starting to touch on some stuff that I had here I want to talk about. How did you two guys, this is your first time meeting in real life, and of course we've done a podcast together, but how did you guys in the most general sense, meet
I thought we were
each
going
other.
to kiss for a second. I was like, it's
No,
happening.
So early in the Patreon, then maybe we'll kiss.
Sorry, the last 10 seconds of that question.
How did you guys meet?
I'm trying to remember.
It's got to be the Kanzenshu forums, right?
That or like a Twitter thing. Like the first memory.
Twitter, yeah.
The first memory I have is us playing Burst Limit like together.
Yes, you're such a friendly guy that I would never do this myself, but you were like, I think I was desperately looking for someone to play Burst Limit with, and you were like, I got the game, let's hop on. And so we hopped on and played and had a good time. And
Right.
Oh yeah, Burst Limit sucks with all these cutscene animations that pop up whatever. It was still fun to do that with, and I think it's just your openness, Randy, to just like reach out to be a friend that really started all of this, honestly.
Oh, well, I mean, you guys are cool dudes, so it's easy to do that. Yeah, because I mean, I super love video games and things like that.
Oh yeah, I found that out the hard way later on, yeah.
And, just getting a chance to play a Dragon Ball game with a person who I knew was a big fan. I was like, oh, cool. Somebody who's on my level, maybe not for the gaming part, but at least
right. We can appreciate the game for what it is.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so that was a lot of fun. And I mean, like, just being,
cordial throughout the years.
Cordial and friends throughout the years.
Yeah, because they're like them in like it was that and then like silence for like maybe like a few years.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of friendship where I could just like not talk to you for 5 years. That fifth year, just be like, hey, what's up? Want to hang out? Yes.
Right.
And it's just like we picked up right back where we were again.
Yeah.
So it's just like that. And you're like, Doug, let's do a podcast. And I'm like, no. And you're like, come on. I'm like, all right.
It did not take a lot of arm twisting.
I don't know if it was that. Yeah, well, it was something simple like that. But yeah.
Again, we've been podcasting for too long because you guys are picking straight into my outline.
Shoot.
So, you had this blossoming relationship here, and Randy, you've had several different previous podcasts. Before we get to how you started doing this podcast with Doug, wasn't there a proto version of this very podcast?
You cheated on me with
never
another-
released before?
A proto version of this podcast.
Wasn't there
was
one?
it with Dragon Ball specifically
I
or different
believe so.
anime? Because I know you do other stuff. But.
Huh. Like, I'm trying to think, like, when I was doing that one anime one, did I do just a straight Dragon Ball episode? Or do you mean more recent? Because that one would have been in, like, 2010, which was a while
I
ago.
might have my Mario Kart memories incorrect here.
You might not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Check the sources.
I also frequently forget many things, so I wouldn't be surprised if I'm just like, oh, I forgot about this. Because I was trying to remember, I think... Did we record an episode that then I like gave to somebody else? Like I gave to Mike, Vegito EX from Consenshu.com.
Well, there's the mention.
Yeah, there's
what
the
time to timestamp that?
Well, but this is pertinent to the conversation.
You're saying we gave him an episode for him to edit on our behalf?
to give feedback. It wasn't editing.
Okay.
Just to be like, is this anything? Is this enjoyable? Did we
I
screw up?
guarantee you if you gave it to Mike, he wouldn't read it, listen to it at all, and be like, yeah, it's all right.
No, it was very glowing. It was great. Otherwise, I would have crumbled under anxiety and everything
That's
else.
why
Like,
it was just kidding.
That hard drive would have been deleted. I would have driven to his house and I would have burned his hard drive. I'd be like, nobody can know about
It's a
this.
huge domino effect.
So, if anybody remembers, remind me. I mean, I just might have forgotten.
I don't know.
So you decide to do a Dragon Ball podcast, right? Easy pickings.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. A lot about it. It's an easy thing to go through. We Got a Podcast is the name of the show, but there were several different names that
so
weren't
many.
picked.
Right.
Could you share some of those?
Oh,
Did you remember them
gosh.
still?
I have a note in my phone somewhere, but unfortunately, I'm using that to also record. So, is this going to screw it up? I'm afraid to check it.
Well,
Do you have any off the dome?
Yeah.
No, I can't remember anything. I told you I have a bad memory.
They were all like so corny.
Yeah.
And like We Got a Pod was just corny enough where it was like, it's still charming in a sense. I like that one.
But it's the way Randy said described these before is that it's just I'm sorry, disaster after disaster after disaster, and then it's the perfect one. We Got a Podcast.
Yeah, it really
and
fit,
then
really
disaster, disaster.
I'm also trying to remember because it's either, it was like the sixth choice after I'd been writing down name ideas, or it was the first, and then all of the rest, I'm like, I'll just make other ones, but they're not going to be as good. So that way I have to pick this one. I don't know.
By comparison, like your first choice was like the best one. Like I'm gonna make sure that one's the best
Right.
one. I'm gonna give these guys the worst names ever.
Exactly.
That's smart.
Gosh, I'm trying to remember because they all would have been stupid.
Very pun names.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
I mean, Dragon Ball is a pun show, so why not give it a pun name?
yeah, it's probably something dumb like Chala Head Podcast or like something just to replace one
something
word.
like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Aren't you guys glad as We Got a Pod?
So I know when you guys started the podcast, you started with the Dragon Ball movies, then you would intersperse those with different topics every other time. Was that what was your ideation of
Yeah,
the
Randy,
show?
what was your idea? What the hell was going through your head at that time?
I mean, obviously, if you're starting something new, at least to me, I want to start with something relatively easy. And doing like a movie review is like, I don't know, you just chill with your buddy, you watch a movie, and then you talk about it. I mean, that's what I always do.
That's as far as we thought about it, kind of.
And at that time, we were doing an episode a week rather than every 2 weeks.
Oh my God, I remember that. Yeah, I had to be like, I can't, Randy. This is draining me like too much creatively to do this.
Exactly. Same here. And then, being able to have that time in between of like, okay, I got to think up a topic and like what we're going to be doing.
Also, Randy was the only one editing these things too. So it's very much like, I think the caveat for me like joining was like, all right, Randy, but then now I'm just the talent. I'm not going to help at all. Are you cool with that?
Of course.
And he's like, yeah. And then even like topic ideas was like mostly you, like everything was you.
So now, here's something I want to jump on while we're on this. Why Doug?
Yeah, why the hell Doug? Why Jabaz?
Well, because you're such a cool dude. We had a good rapport, and you'd been on other stuff that you could. I was like, okay, well, this guy knows how to podcast, and
the one time with Mike,
which I definitely did not. Well, I don't know, but yeah. Oh no, apparently according to Ken, I was already fully cooked.
Episode 218 of the Daizenshu EX podcast, earliest appearance of any of us on there.
I talked about my Little Big Planet level that I created, and Mike was like, "Yeah, hop on and talk about it." And I'm like, "Okay, how do I talk about something?" I'm like, I should probably like elaborate more. So this is a communication podcast. I should say more. I was just like, he's like, did you do this? I'm like, yes. What about this?
Doug did a great job. Thank you. Listen to it yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, also, it's just like now I'm friends with others more so in the community, like Ken or like other people on the Kanzenshu Mario Kart nights. So it's like, okay, well, I have a lot more Dragon Ball nerd friends. But a few years ago, I was just like, I don't really have that much of a rapport with a lot of people. But I was like, well, Doug's kind of my go-to. And he's got a handsome mug. So if we were going to be on camera, it was going to turn out really well.
Gosh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So we got the idea of the podcast going. You guys at some point reach out to Rifti Beats to do the... Well, he'd already done the track, right?
Yes. No, I don't think we reached out to him. I don't think he might have just gave us like the okay. It wasn't like a communication kind of thing like that. I wish it was. I love Rifti and his music.
Yeah, Rifti, check us out.
Yeah. I mean, like, but he's a very cool guy. Where like I think on his audio, he's like, yeah, you can use my stuff as long as you credit me. So I'm like, okay. I mean, I already love his music, so let's do that. I think I reached out to him as well to get his permission.
Yeah, we did because I was looking for background music to use for the show or for like an intro or whatever because I had to do something, but I didn't want to just straight up do a song from the show, or I also do not have any musical talent, so I couldn't write anything for anything like that. So I was like, well, I do like listening to lo-fi beats that you can chill/study to. So what if I just searched for some Dragon Ball lo-fi? Oh, this one's really cool. I really like this. Yeah. And, just reach out to the person and be like, hey, I really like this. I'm going to be doing this sort of show. Is this something you'd like? I could send you what the show is kind of going to be like, so that way,
to get what you're getting, what we're getting you into, or something like that.
Right.
I guess, yeah.
And it was just a very quick thing of like, oh yeah, that's cool, go for it. Just credit me. So it's like, done and done.
Kakarot banger soundtrack.
He's still making music to this day for not just Dragon Ball, for all anime, like games, stuff like that's great.
So, like you said in the beginning, this was a weekly podcast. So you had uneven scheduling for a little while. You guys went months off for a period of time, right?
Yeah.
Around that's because you were moving and different things happening.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a lot of time off. So what kind of unforeseen troubles did the podcast have?
I remember one of them, my bus broke down and I was like going to like come home so that we could record, and it was hot and it was summertime. Like I'm a hot guy. Let's put it that way. I'm here in Texas and I've got my shirt undone. Yeah. I'm like, I'm just warm. Sorry, did I just dox you?
No, we've turned the AC up for Randy and I'm freezing. Doug,
get over there and cuddle.
I'm just right.
Okay. But my bus had broken down and I had texted Doug. I'm like, it's just been too much. I can't do it tonight. We have to put it off. We'll do it tomorrow.
I'm like, oh, that's okay, Randy. And then after I hung up, I'm like, yes! No recording today.
You didn't really want to talk to me. No, you just didn't want to.
No, I'm very shy when it comes to talking on for any product or whatever for production.
That was pretty early on because I want to say it was, like I said, it was summertime, but we started the show in February. So it'd have been, I don't know, like 4 or 5 months into it. So yeah, that probably would have been like 20 some episodes in. So I just distinctly remember my bus breaking down and it was just being a thing and just like having to sit there. And
you own a bus? What do you mean?
I take public transit to work. So it's bus number. No, I'm not going to
We got a pod money's coming in. So I want to make sure the viewers know that he doesn't own a bus. It's just the bus he rides.
I am a CEO after all. And rather than getting a jet, I got a bus.
I flew commercial.
Yeah. But I mean, I remember that. And then, moving and things like that. So I can't remember if there's any. It was just kind of we didn't have Ken, who is really kind of been very into it and wanted to stick to a schedule.
He took the bus's wheel and actually, maneuvered it in the right direction.
I was swerving off on the road.
Yeah.
But you're very disciplined, and I really, really like that. So it's nice. It's like I can't make excuses. I'm like, I just don't feel like it right now, and the vibe isn't right.
I'm like the devil on your shoulder that's like, yeah, you can't handle it. We should take a break.
I don't want to toot my own horn, but we have not missed a single, bi-weekly release.
Mm-hmm.
And for several stints, we have had weekly episodes. I mean, between this Tenchi, this and Ava. But yeah, we've never missed.
Incredible.
Every other week, so.
I mean, a lot of thanks to Jake, because he hopped in for me whenever I have something unexpected happen, and he was great.
Shout out to
Jake. Yeah.
So with movie 8, you guys brought in your first guest, Yummy Pixels.
Yeah.
At what point did you guys start to feel comfortable bringing in guests? Like you had built up enough clout to start bringing.
Well, I don't even think we
in.
thought of it as clout. We're just what other friends out there are knowledgeable in Dragon Ball, or passionate about. Because Sarah Yummy is very passionate about movie 8 and kind of opened my eyes to the story of Broly and how it's not just a dumb baby reacting to another baby or whatever. It involves PTSD and that kind of stuff. So I loved hearing other perspectives from different people on how they take the story.
Yeah, and the other part of it is just we were starting out and things like that, and one of the tactics you could kind of do to help a show or something grow is okay, we'll reach out to other audiences, have a collaboration with another creator, be then they'll talk about it, and then bring some people over.
Yeah, there's always that spillage that you kind of hope for.
Yeah, and I didn't have as many plugins with a lot of people, so I was like, Doug, do you know anybody? And you were like, yeah, heck yeah, I've got a friend, this would be great. And then we were coming up to movie 8, so you're
it's a perfect it's melded naturally.
Yeah, so that worked. I mean, I don't remember why it was just you and her for that segment. I don't know if it was a scheduling thing.
You were scheduled. Yeah, you weren't available.
That sounds about right. But either way, listening back to it, it was really fun because I'm like, it's to get to hear Doug talking about Dragon Ball with somebody who's not me.
Yeah. Shout out Sarah. Thank you for that. That was a great episode.
So we've had some you gags or running themes for the show, like Doug not reading the super manga. We finally did it with Moro. We got
years in the making.
You guys not liking movie 6. We'll fix that soon.
Yeah, I don't know how you can save that. It's still that's years. That's even more years in the making.
All right. I
just
went
fight
back
better. Just fight better is the whole plot of
you
that
guys are
movie.
misinterpreting the movie. We'll talk about it later.
Well, here's the thing. Now Daima is in the rear view, so we'll have that to also be measuring things against.
Yeah.
There's good parts about Daima. I don't want to crap on it the whole time.
Before I joined, did you guys ever think about ending the podcast?
No, not really.
Yeah, I was gonna be curious for you because
I was exhausted from it kind of thing, but I never wanted to stop talking with you about Dragon Ball. It was there's not a lot of pressure to do so. So it's just let's just chill thing we can do whenever.
Yeah, I didn't feel like there was any time that I wanted to quit it. It was just kind of taking breaks here and there because I'm a lazy person. You know what? I'm not going to talk bad about myself. I have a lot of other interests. It's video games. I have, obsessive things.
I don't know how you fit in all those video games with all that little time you have.
I know. It's ridiculous, but I try real hard.
You accomplish, yeah.
It's never been a thing about quitting. It's just been a thing about can I get away with not doing it for a little bit? So no, I love it. I love just talking with Doug, and now I get to talk with 2 really cool dudes on a bi-weekly basis, sometimes more when we get to do other shows, and that's not even counting, Mario Kart nights. So I'll say we've been doing Tenchi interspersed every time, and this past Tuesday was the first time I didn't get to talk to you guys, and I'm like, I miss them so much. This feels so weird.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know, did you guys feel that way? I mean, I'm not asking the questions here, but now I just want to know.
Well, this kind of will continue into this next thing here.
All right. Rating, get your hand off the wheel. Get your hand off the wheel.
When did you start to envision bringing in a third person for the show? I know it was a surprise to Doug. So
100%. So we got this guy, Ken.
Oh, when or why?
Take me out of the picture.
All right.
When was the idea of let's get a third person for the show?
I mean, we had done all of the movies and we'd done, a number of topics besides that. And it was just kind of I don't know, what are we going to do? We had put out that one very short episode that's hey guys, send us ideas and things to do because I'm running out of them and I don't really know.
And Doug's no help with that avenue. So.
I didn't say that. His words, not mine.
On YouTube, that video is unlisted, but you can find it in the podcast playlist.
Oh yeah,
it's
did.
Viewable.
I forgot you actually made an episode of that. You're please help. You were please.
And we didn't have, a whole episode because I probably wanted to take a break and do something dumb. So I was just like, this will be the episode.
Even a point where I was asking Randy, I was like, what episode are we on? And he's like this. And I'm like, well, by my count. And he's like, no, we include that one. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that's a whole episode.
We included it because the one week I decided, I'll put a number on that. And then I was like, I shouldn't have, but like,
damned us forever.
Sorry. So
were you a guest at all before you officially joined? Or
I mean, the week before,
just the week. This guy fit in so well. Let's just keep him around.
Was it the news roundup? Was that the first one?
March 2023 news roundup. It was the Sparking Zero reveal.
Oh,
it was, I don't know what we talked about other than that, but I know Sparking Zero was like the big thing.
Right.
So why me?
Why Ken?
Why Ken indeed? I mean, I had joined doing the Mario Kart things later. Yeah. So it was just kind of like, we felt that we had, a decent enough chemistry, and you were funny, you were personable, you're good on, for all of that. And
like you were honestly just a natural fit that it just felt right. Yeah. Yeah.
And when there was the Splatoon 3 like network test day or whatever, like you and me, like 8 hours, we're just like on a video call playing Splatoon. We took a break to get pizza, but it was just like all day long. And I picked up that game. I'm like, can't wait to play with Ken again. And you're like, I got my fill. I'm not going to get it. I'm like, well, I've never booted it up since.
Okay,
that is so Ken core.
Don't you put that evil on me. All right,
I got my fill. I'm done.
So I had never actually listened to the podcast before because I personally find I don't know how this is going to sound, but I have a hard time listening to people who I don't like sincerely trust about Dragon Ball talk about Dragon Ball because I have like an overly encyclopedic knowledge about stuff. And so if I hear someone get like the most obvious thing in the world wrong, it like
Beerus's pun is apple cider, isn't it? That's where it comes from. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
It ruins my day. And so, before I knew you guys, I didn't know that you had
what level
knowledge
we were
to go
on.
in. So I hadn't listened to it. We were playing Mario Kart for a while. I started listening to the podcast to see if I could catch them saying anything cancelable.
You came into this with malice.
I did. And then
results?
No, you guys are
okay.
Randy and I had then Randy was already thinking about doing a video version of the podcast, I believe.
Oh, yeah. We found that idea around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know where to start with it. And like, it would have been
it would have had to fall on me to kind of edit that.
I mean, you have a little bit more of expertise in it.
I'm more comfortable in that video editing aspect. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So Randy and I briefly DM'd about it, and I just whipped up a full mock-up. And I'm like, hey, how about this? And that mock-up is still what we use today for the podcast.
You knocked it out of the park.
Perfect. Yeah. Why change it? Ain't broken.
And that was even before I had guested on there and anything was discussed. And so it was just for Randy and Doug.
Wow.
And yeah, that's what we used. Do you guys have any questions for me about joining the show or anything? No pressure. But
did you realize how it was gonna be long term when you joined up? Like when was actually the moment that Ken was decided he's the third member officially? I don't think even came to me with it. Just like, oh, Ken's there again.
I definitely knew before Doug did.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. You never told me that Ken. I'm still to this day like, is Ken the third member or what's happening? Okay, so just a continuous guest.
I think I remember because we had you as the guest, and I was listening to it as I was editing it, and I'm like, man, this sounds really good. I really like how this feels. So I was just very excited for like the kind of energy that, the show could have having you join on. So I probably was like, hey, I got to talk to Doug about this. And like, he's going to, really be the one that says yes or no, because like it's a 2-person thing. But I'm like, this is so good, man. I just got to have you on. So like, are you interested? I couldn't hold my excitement.
And what do you think?
So I was really nervous about it. Anytime you make a big decision in life, you like immediately regret it, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So
think about all the possibilities.
I felt that for like a little bit, but then and Randy, you gave me really the runway to do this. I took an extreme ownership in the video version of the podcast. I took over the social media. And so I think like getting my hands like deep in there and like looking at the analytics and everything, that I was able to feel like I've done contract work before. I drew art for a book, and it was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Really?
So I never wanted to do anything like that. But so yes, Randy, you're the CEO, but it never felt like by doing the podcast, like I was working for you. And
right.
it was like, it became mine in a certain way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And even now, there's sometimes Randy and I will butt heads about stuff. And so
There was an entire day, like a week or so ago, that I was harassing you about changing your video editing software, and I was like, "Come on, man, you got to move over to this."
That's not happening.
That's
Still not. Yeah, they got their stubborn abilities.
Yeah, he has the last say because I mean, I don't want to control how a person's going to do it, especially for something like that where you have your own kind of perceptions on how things are supposed to be done, or to make it enjoyable for you, because otherwise that's just going to drain the fun out of you, and that's going to drain the fun out of the show and drain the fun out of, I think, a friendship.
Yeah.
So,
which is what this is like. What started it all is like, this is just two buds, now three buds, like talking about Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An excuse. It was like, I'm going to put microphones in front of us so that we can talk
Ken,
about it.
You were the missing piece in our puzzle so well, because like we have Randy, like the very knowledgeable, like straightforward guy. I'm like the average Joe that like kind of spices things up a little bit, I hope. And then Ken is the one that has like the deep knowledge lore that like kind of like keeps us in line. I feel like a lot of times.
I don't know about that.
Balances us out. It's like a spectrum of just like, yeah, you know some stuff, and then there's me who's like, I think I know a lot, but there's a lot I don't. So I can be like, let me check with my knowledge guy, my human dictionary.
The one who can just reach behind him on a bookshelf and grab the right volume of manga and the right page of what we're discussing at that moment.
You were in the bathroom earlier, but I did that for Randy.
Did you really? You son of a...
You missed out. It was a very magical moment.
But yeah, once I was able to feel like a sense of ownership of it, then it was like I felt at home.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I will say I did have one anxiety about you joining the show before asking you this question. And I think I voiced it to you, and I might have told you about it because you started listening to the show before you were going to guest on, and you were sending us like comments and things and like feedback and like what you were enjoying and like your own thoughts on
was
it.
I don't even remember that.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, and I had said like, I want to get this guy on the show to like be permanent, but like he's such a good fan. I don't want to lose.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. No, yeah.
Every time we reach out to the community, he's there to fill in that void.
Right, exactly. So I was like, do I want to lose that? But what if I gain something that is not as great? Just kidding. It was the best thing in the world.
Yeah,
so,
definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I may be the third member of We Got a Podcast, but we have some honorary members, I think, that I want to give shouts out to. First of all, I mean, come on, Senpai. Basically the fourth member, right? He's in it.
The one who gives me struggles every podcast.
He's got presence every episode.
I figure his name.
Yeah. Then I also want to shout out Jake again. He's joined us whenever Doug's not here. Yeah, Jake's.
It's like a double-edged sword. Like I wish I could be on when Jake's there, but it's so funny that he's the fill-in when I'm gone.
You got to check Mario Kart for that. Yeah.
Yes,
or I'll just not show up sometimes, and it could be because
we don't want to lose someone to gain someone.
Nah, that's true.
Only if we make Jake do the hello and welcome to We Got a Podcast.
Yeah.
So watch out, Jake. You better be rehearsing.
Start studying.
Randy doesn't read it from a script anymore. I made him stop doing that.
But it really screws us up because then I also do the one for Tenchi that is slightly different, and then I have to do like 2 takes.
So the first 30 minutes is just trying to get Randy to say it right.
30 minutes?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Just embellishing.
Well, on that note, I also want to shout out Lance, who joined us for the GT Checkpoint, the episode 7 of Tenchi, and spoilers, Lance, we'd like you to come back to do Daughter of Darkness with us.
Oh, no.
We'll reach out to you about
Daughter of Darkness.
Talk about scheduling and all that.
That's always fun when we podcast with you. And, of course, Mike. Right.
Who?
Exactly. Mike Vegito EX Labrie of Kanzenshu EX, formerly Daizenshu EX. I said Kanzenshu EX. Can you believe that?
Oh my god, what a goof.
Fake fan.
Oh my gosh.
I'll edit
Who
that.
are
No,
you?
I'll leave that.
Get out of here. This is your house.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah, house rules. I call it Kanzenshu EX. Of course, all three of us appeared on his podcast before we were on We Got a Podcast as well. Of course,
before we
Doug,
knew each other,
first
maybe.
One.
Yeah.
Randy was on to talk about Legends, I believe, the original Legends.
Right.
And then I was on to, maybe it was the Moro arc was my first time.
Really? That's
Really?
recent?
That deep? Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, and then of course we want to thank the fans, all you guys who write in. Just off the top of my head, I mean, there's too many to name, but Kyalone, Proto Packet. We've got Jacob Sawyer, of course, every episode. Omega Rockman from like way back when. So, and there's so many of you, and I can't go through all. Pika Fan and just stuff is just popping off the top of my head here. But thank you to all of you who listen to the podcast. We literally couldn't and wouldn't do it without you.
They don't let me read the Twitter comments anymore because I have dyslexia, self-appointed. But
It's not that we don't let. I always ask, Doug, do you want to take any of these? And you go, no. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to make you.
I don't have to log into the thing, so every time you guys read them off a list, they're not in the same order. But whatever. It's like, but every time you guys say a name, I'm like, oh, I recognize that name. I recognize that name. So I love even the fans that keep coming and keep voicing their opinions. It's one of my favorite parts of the show, honestly.
And so with that, we'll go ahead and find out what the fans have to think after this little break.
What did you ask them?
And we're back.
Look at that.
They both finally got those Lewis Born Cyan figures.
Ken found this for me. I can stop the hunt. I don't have to go to Target anymore.
You had to go to Texas. That's different.
No other state. They were clean out everywhere else.
Thank you again, Ken.
Dude,
so
you're the
much.
best, honestly.
Of course. Now, during the break, I probably should have gotten the blue sky open, but we'll do that live here real quick. Let me just switch over to wegotapodcast.com.
There we go. I believe in you.
Okay, so I asked, if do you have any favorite podcast moments, any questions about the show in general? And we've got here from Jacob Sawyer.
Hey.
I always I assume love, the Dougisms. Hopefully someone out there can make a compilation of them sometime.
Put on a shirt.
There's a part in fan-created favorites where Doug is introducing Randy to the Dragon Ball Z rap, where Randy gets really into it and takes his shirt off, which I found hilarious.
What? I don't remember that at all.
So we weren't on video, so it was probably a lie. I loved it so much, but it was, I just have to play it up. So that's
Gotcha.
You didn't see. Maybe I did take it off.
Maybe you did.
It's true. Maybe I actually did. And
it was a good rap. It was a good rap.
It was good.
Jacob continues, surprising Doug with trivia every time tickles me as well. The trivia at Mike's convention panel was such a great moment.
Oh my God.
Which was my idea, by the way.
I didn't even, if I just went back and watched the VOD of that, I would have been prepared, but I honestly didn't. And it really was like, why is Mike wanting me to be at this panel so badly? Like, he's like, really like, are you coming, Doug? Are you coming? Like, yeah, I'll be there.
The addition of Ken to the pod was also a great moment. Thank you.
Absolutely.
The Vegeta, great character or greatest character, is one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
Doug's answer to Zenpai's question on what Vegeta's name pun is cracks me up in that episode.
What did I say?
I don't know. What did you say?
Something stupid.
Oh, did you go back and listen to this?
No, not that one.
Oh, man.
Potatoes or something like that.
Probably would be a Dougism of some sort.
Nerdy Norwegian writes in and says, what's up, Nerdy? My
There it
favorite
is.
aspect of We Got a Podcast is how you guys still feel like you're a part of the fandom, not above it. Listening to the show feels like listening to and talking to, thanks to your focus on community thoughts through the skeets, fellow fans, and getting to share the fandom with you guys has been great.
Oh, Nerdy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nerdy, yeah.
I think the reason why we don't feel above it is because we have our own beerists, and that's Mike and them, so we can't beat them, so we can never feel above the fandom.
Yeah, and now that he's releasing every 2 weeks, there's stuff we can't claim anymore.
Yeah,
so.
we super can't take a break anymore because it's we can't let that guy win.
Yeah. Colton writes in and says, who guest starred on the Movie 9 episode.
Oh, yeah.
I believe so. No, not Movie 9. Movie 11, which is super underrated.
It's true.
Better than Movie 10.
Yeah.
And 6.
I like the episode with that guy, Colton. He seems pretty all right. Also, every time Ken has to defend Movie 6 is great.
It's a lot of it.
Made him do it again mid-question.
It's okay, guy. I'm not a fan of it either. It's pretty dumb.
Yay.
Like, how does Cooler survive the sun? Come on. I'll keep my commentaries.
I can forgive the sun. All right. It's just.
Congrats on all the great work thus far and looking forward to more.
Thank you, Nerdy. Thank you.
Well, that one was.
Well, that was Colton.
Thank you, Colton. Thank you.
He's calling Colton nerdy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nerdy Bastard.
Okay. Gotcha.
Omega Rockman writes and it says, no particular moment. I just love listening to chill dudes with unique, fun perspectives talk about Dragon Ball. Definitely helps keep me sane during long work nights.
Oh, I'm glad. Now, that's the best part too. Is I don't ever think of this as we're entertaining someone, but I'm glad that we can. Right. It's really nice. I love it.
Because it is just kind of us hanging out. And we do keep in mind, okay, we're on camera or people are going to hear this. Yeah, so try to have fun. But it's just comes naturally because we're just friends talking about a thing that we love.
Me being an idiot comes naturally, yeah.
There are times where I think I'm playing up a character and then we've been hanging out in real life, and we just went to dinner to each other together, and I was acting like I do on the podcast. So I think this is just the way I act with you guys.
It must be, right? Yeah, I think you guys are who you are, like who you were on camera. Like nothing has really changed, really.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a thing that people bring out in you, so you just are kind of like that.
If anything, we're just like a few decibels louder because I feel like I'm talking to the microphone. But besides that,
right? Yeah. So it's just fun. It basically there's a bug in a room where 3 dudes are just talking about a show that they like that was made for Japanese 8-year-olds in 1986. So that's how it is.
I wasn't born yet.
Neither were I. Was I? English.
Jake. Well, speaking of English. Jake writes in English. In English,
segue is super good.
It must be a hot take.
A marathon. We got a podcast first quote arc a couple years back, brushing up on the canon. I highly recommend doing so.
Really?
Randy plus Doug are delightfully chill and knowledgeable right from the start. Plus, we get to hear some childhood stories. Randy's tale about his dad and Dead Zone especially comes to mind.
Are they related? Your dad in the Dead Zone? Did your dad?
My dad is dead. Doug.
Is he in the Dead Zone? Have you checked?
Wow. No, it was the story.
Jake continues. No, it was the story.
Oh, it was that we were. People have already heard it. You can go back to the episode. But a real quick thing is like we were camping, and by camping, it's more just like sitting in an RV and just like chilling somewhere that isn't our house. But they were showing the first 3 Dragon Ball Z movies, the Pioneer Ocean dub pre-in-house Funimation on Cartoon Network, like 3 in a row. And I had missed some beforehand. So I'm like, I want to get home and I want to just like record these, watch these or something. And my dad is like, yeah, I mean, I want to go home and like do something on the computer, whatever, that works out. So I was like, okay, we just need to be back by this certain time. When we get there, because we're going to do movie 1, 2, and 3. And we get there and movie 2 had already started. And I was like, what? And realized like, oh, I'm in the Central Time Zone. And I forgot to take into account that they're giving Eastern Time Zone. So it was an hour late. And I was just so distraught. And my dad, who's already there on the computer, is like, I'm on their website. You could buy a 3-pack of the VHSs for like this. Like, is this the thing that you were missing? I'm like, yeah. So he bought those. And then like a week later, I got them. So I don't keep VHSs anymore. And I still have those in my collection. Like it's on my shelf.
But you still hate time zones to this day. Time zone differences.
I do. They are the bane of me.
Hates time zones. Loves dead zones. Jake continues. The gauntlet of reviewing movies was a lovely stretch that felt like the perfect way to get the creative cogs cranking.
Yeah.
Our duo had a real cozy Dragon Ball podcast going, and then a wild Ken appeared, bringing further analysis and another great perspective to the mix. A 10-fold power boost. Real quick, Alexa, turn on living room lamp.
Of course.
Thank you. Okay.
It tells you, of course?
Yeah, I got a Alexa Plus.
Oh, okay. Mine always like, she feels like I'm yelling at her. Like, I'm like, can you play Spotify? And mine's like, okay, calm down, Doug, I'll do it. I'm like, no one's yelling. No, what are you talking about?
I love activating the part of my brain that I've spent 20 plus years cultivating and able to just unleash it in podcast form. Makes me feel
you like
good.
your encyclopedia whenever we're like we needed some more information. Like, do you think that's right, Randy? Like, I'm not sure. And then we look at Ken. It's like, yes.
Well, here's a question. It's just off the top of my dome. We did all those when it was just you and me. Like, it's been a few years. We might have different opinions now. Do we want to do all those movies again, but the 3 of us? I mean,
not so soon.
I mean, it's been 4 years.
That's like a 10-year thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Episode 317. Like, that's going to be our next celebratory
unless
thing.
you guys want to hear that. I doubt they want to hear that again.
I mean, I love to rewatch stuff, so I don't have a problem with doing it. So, like, I mean, yeah, if other people want to hear it,
I want to see movie 6 again.
Okay, well, that one you're definitely seeing.
That's
again,
happening.
so.
But that would be a good way to make sure it's going to happen, because we're like, we already done 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and we don't have to do it. I'm just throwing it out. Okay.
I got this man to read Super. I'll get him to watch movie 6.
Hell yeah.
Parker Rico writes in and says, I honestly can't decide my favorite moment of this podcast. Every episode I've listened to is just so good and always fills me with glee. You guys rule, and so does Dragon Ball.
Oh, Parker. Thank you.
Kylo writes in and says, probably not an universal appeal, but for me, I enjoy having a Dragon Ball podcast of folks closer to my own age, having grown up with a Kanzenshi one and being a bit younger than them. Not that I don't also still love that one. That aside, I really enjoy you guys' energy as a group also.
I think we do hit like that specific niche though, like what our age group is and just like the kind of fandoms we've evolved from. Because I think we were all dub fans to begin with, then found the Japanese version and just like kind of found an appreciation for both in that aspect. So
And it's the energy thing is also really good because, like, I of course still listen to Kanzenshuu all of the time, and I love it. And it's really great because it's so informative, but also entertaining. Yeah. But I think we kind of move the needle more towards entertaining. Like, I hope the word formative, but it's like that whole energy thing of like, it's just kind of more relaxed.
They're like Pokemon EVs or IV scale, whatever. That's like they're shifted more towards like, diligence and like fact checking, all that kind of stuff. I have my bar set all the way to entertainment. I try.
What I'm saying is I try to be like the Kanzenshuu podcast, but I'm intentionally am worse.
Intentionally. After like doing our podcast and then like going back to listening to one of Mike's podcasts after so long, it's incredible like how like he's got it nailed down, like the intro and everything and structure wise and all that kind of stuff. It's a different vibe from what it is. Like not like bad, it's just different. And that's what I appreciate about both versions.
I'll tell you the times when Randy and I will go on there for the Kakarot episodes. Early on, I said to Randy, I'm like, I feel like I have to be so much more buttoned up on the Kanzenshuu. Yeah. But then if you start to listen as those Kakarot reviews go, it starts to just get more and more relaxed. And when we get to the Daima one, I can only imagine what that's going to be like.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, it also helps to be playing Mario Kart all the time and just kind of having that rapport and just being like, I mean, this is just we're getting on to talk to our buddy versus before, like, I had been a fan of that podcast and that website since I was, early days of college. So I was always like, hopefully someday Senpai will notice me.
Oh my God, it's Michael Labrie.
I do sometimes think about it, and Mike, I'm sure, is going to like cringe at this, but it's just like, it's weird to think that we hang out with him. Agreed. Like 12-year-old me knowing this would not believe it.
And there's no one at home that I can tell that would understand what I'm talking about. Like I hang out with the guy that I used to watch read the website and read the podcast. Oh my God.
Reading the podcast.
Reading the podcast and listening to the words. It's amazing.
Classic Doug.
No, but my like friends back home, it's hard to explain to them what that appeal is. And so with you guys, I'm finally like, you guys get it.
Sorry to do this again because we had done it just like, I don't know, 5-6 episodes ago talking about like how important that website and, Mike and everybody who works there is. But like now we're in person and I get to say it again.
Yeah, so it really is. Like I would dare say it shaped at least me, like, at least our fandom.
For sure.
Ted writes in and says, been tuning in since your episode on Bardock. Definitely the show I look forward to the most. If you're willing to share, I've always been interested to know what y'all do as day jobs. So let's keep it vague.
Sure.
Yeah.
No problem.
They want to know how I buy my figures. I get you.
How are you making that paper to make those plastics?
I cannot disclose.
Okay, that's fair. So I'm a graphic designer at just like a sign shop. So, I put together displays and things for that, or sometimes do light logo design here and there. But I mean, that's what I do to pay the bills, and it's all right. It's good.
Yeah. I used to work at a bank, like as like a rundown, which is like, that was like where I worked like paycheck to paycheck type stuff. But then I got a job as an accountant. And then that's when I finally was able to spend some money on figures. And what a life changer that's been. I can't tell you how much it feels nice to have some disposable. I can actually afford Guru. Do you know how much Guru cost? Yeah. SH Figure Arts Guru just got announced.
We landed, and Ken called me.
That was the first news. Like, he didn't say like, "Hey, did you guys land okay? Like, how was your flight?"
No, didn't check on that. He just says, "I don't have Doug's number, so I need you to tell him this." I'm like against Doug in a car. I'm like, could it in 80?
Guru,
Great Elder
310,
and you're like, what?
So this is not just for the show. You could tell this is just how I act with him. And then I'll keep mine vague here. Customer service, and then like some technical work and stuff. But I love talking to people. I don't like people, but I like talking to people.
I get that. Yeah. Working at the bank, I definitely got that. Like, I love people, but I hated people.
Yeah. Rob. We'll continue to call him this until he tells us to stop. New fan to the pod, started with the Tenchi podcast, and I've been watching the recent Dragon Ball podcasts and older stuff as well. I really like the vibe with you guys and can't wait to listen to more of the podcast.
That's so great.
Gosh, now I'm really just hoping I don't, mess up and make a bad show, because I got all these people that are looking forward to it. I don't know.
Messing up is a good show.
What?
Well, speaking of a good show, normally, Randy, do you have trivia from Zenpai?
Oh, my.
Please say no.
Oh, you know what?
It's locked behind
he
his
doesn't
phone.
have it on his phone.
He can't access it.
Well, it's a good thing that I have Zenpai's trivia. And I have Zenpai's trivia.
Where's your door to get out of here? How do I leave?
All right.
I need a flight out of here immediately.
So this trivia is for Randy and Doug this time.
Oh!
And it's all about We Got a Podcast.
Oh
my
my
gosh.
memory is the worst. So this is already.
you might be able to get some of these. Question number 1: what is Doug's favorite part of each episode?
I'm gonna. I wasn't up there. I'm looking at Ken like I know this. I look at Randy. His hand is up. I'm like, dang it.
I'm just gonna take a guess because like the name of the game is like you just gotta buzz in as quick as you can, so that way you can BS your way until you can finally say it. I'm gonna say it's like the audience response stuff.
I will say it's the trivia.
It's trivia.
I thought you just liked me saying Doug is trivia, and your heart rate elevating, and it's like
It's the part that I genuinely always forget until you bring it up. That I was like, oh yeah, we're wrapping up. We got the audience to voicing their opinions as we're wrapping up, right? Trivia.
So what is Doug's... I just asked that question. What was the first episode Ken entered as a regular member of the We Got a Podcast crew?
I'm not good at numbers.
so. Obviously, it was the news roundup that you did the guess, but was it the Vegeta great or greatest character? Was that the first one, or was it talking about Piccolo?
So let's get Zenpai's breakdown. It's very technical here. Okay. So I first entered in episode 50 to help out with the March 2023 news roundup.
That's right.
I was then invited to join the crew at the end of episode 51, which was the Vegeta episode. But I first entered from the beginning of the episode as a regular member in episode 52, the AF is Real episode.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was like your first topic, too. You're like, we got to read AF. And it's like, all right, yeah,
so
let's
Doug
do it.
read AF before Moro.
Yeah.
I guess most people
I'm realizing
did,
it's all your
but,
fault that I'm
yeah.
reading all these new things. Like,
Yeah,
you're
you're
giving me
welcome.
homework.
What was Zenpai's place in the overall GT retrospective episodes trivia leaderboard?
Like the points we gave him after all.
No, we were
Yeah.
taking points away from him.
I was taking those points away from him.
But yeah, it was an antagonistic thing where it was no longer Doug versus Ken. It was Ken versus the trivia person. It's just shouting at the person asking him questions and being like, I know more than you. Oh,
He definitely got the negatives, right? Because you kept getting him with
I would have already covered the information during the
which then
episode.
takes the point away from him.
right, yeah. That was like a throwaway thing of like, I think we should take a point away from him because we already talked about that.
Wasn't
It's
it like a Who's Line situation though, where we're just like, yeah, take away 10 decibels from him and like 10,000 decibels, and like
Yeah, we did.
that was a point system or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, exactly. It was like 10 stars. Take it away.
Well, I doubt you guys know the answer, but and again, Zenpai wrote this. An unfair second place with 38 points, losing only to Ken's 43.
Oh, okay. What the actual play? I thought it was like, what was his purpose in this? And it was like to be the antagonist or something.
Now, you guys raise your hands for this one. How many figures does Doug have?
I don't what you can't quantify that.
Why does somebody else know this?
I was gonna say Zenpai doesn't know this. There's no way he knows this unless he's thinking like, how many of the SH figures do I have completed?
Didn't you show that one thing that's like the Pokemon,
tally, the checklist or whatever?
The Pokemon checklist thing, like, oh, you got this new card.
Yeah, yeah.
Doug kind of already answered it. It was too many. The answer is too many.
yeah. Not enough, man. I just got more.
I was worried that he was like obsessively watching.
I know.
your
I was kind of
shorts.
scared. Like, yeah, he's like look at my bookcase. Like 1, 2. Did you get that one already? 3.
During the special 21 question trivia section in the GT retrospective episode, who ended up getting the win?
I mean, it's usually going to be Ken because that's just how it goes.
I'm gonna say it's me. A rare Doug win.
The answer is Randy, snatching the win in his then only trivia participation episode with 8 points.
Why are we not keeping track of points here so that way I could claim a double victory? I mean, that's what we
Here's
should
your
be
second
doing.
chance.
And and again, raise your hands, guys. The final question here, question number 6. What is We Got a Podcast's favorite audience?
The
Viewers like you. What do you mean? What does that mean?
yeah, I mean, it's just everybody who's listening. It's great.
Our favorite audiences are the Hispanics.
The answer is moms.
Moms.
How could I forget?
Oh,
I
wow.
love me some Latina moms.
I'm so sorry to the moms out there that we forgot to talk about. We do love you.
I love a lot of the answers are just like, oh, after he says it.
Feels like such a letdown that I didn't just like immediately get to that. Man. Oh, man.
Shouts out to the moms, guys. We mustn't forget about them.
What was the Cell Juniors bit too? There's a Cell Junior thing going on with that.
Oh, that was the Cell Juniors were the algorithm.
Yes.
Gotcha. There's so much lore within the We Got a Pod world.
Somehow.
So now we'll get to the end of the episode, and this is the part that's all scripted out. So I'll let Randy read from.
Not from memory.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you.
I want to see if I can do mine from memory though.
And thank you for listening. Now everything's turning. I slightly turned it and it already reoriented. We love interacting with you and keeping you in the conversation, talking about our favorite franchise in the whole world. You can post us on our Blue Sky. We keep it easy at wegotapodcast.com over on Blue Sky. And you can also just email us at wegotapod@gmail.com.
Check this out. Thank you to Rifti Beach for letting us use this track. Kakarot theme hip hop trap remix. You can find that track and other great music by Rifti on his SoundCloud. Ken, where can the good people find you?
You can find me at detectivex.bsky.social.
And Randy?
You can catch me over at Saberbreaker at wegotapodcast.com over on bisky.social or .app. That's what it is.
.app? I never know. You guys have been saying this for like so many episodes, and I still don't know how to the Blue Sky handle whatever works. I'm Jabaz Doug everywhere. Just look Jabaz Doug. You can't miss me.
And that brings us to the end of the episode, guys. Thank you for joining us here on the episode 109. Obviously, the episode you do a celebration on. This was great. Having you guys here in person is awesome.
Incredible.
We were discussing this earlier. Yeah, it's just not weird at all going from online to being in person.
It's weird how not weird it is.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
The weirdest thing is seeing your room. Like that feels like more a backstage thing than anything else.
Yeah, I was trying to like figure it out. It's like if you were in a TV show or a movie, but you didn't know it was one, and then you like came back and you're like, oh wait, it is just a set. But it's obviously it's the reverse where it's better than that. Like all these things have 3 dimensions, and like I can see them, and like there's little tidbits and things. It's just a magical time to 1, see that room, but 2, that's right, number 2, meeting you guys in person.
And thank you for Ken having us over your place to do this. This is so hospitable and
yeah.
It's been great.
And I only spilled a little beer on the carpet.
You had to spill it right when we started, right when the vibes were like peak Thursday energy. You come in here spilling your beer.
Yeah.
We've been over this. It was Doug's fault.
Somehow. I'll take the blame. I'm the one that can take it.
So, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing and reviewing and all that fun stuff. And we will, next time, we won't be in person anymore.
Unfortunately, yeah.
We'll catch you matinator.
Bye.
I'm getting out of here, guys. I hate you. This has been the worst trip of my life.
I can't believe this too. Like I can't believe we.
I'm taking my figure and getting the hell out of here. Thank you for that.
And in this
I'm pouring the
podcast.
rest of my beer on this carpet. Just can't do it no more.